Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm at 7,500 miles. Let me break down for you what it's been like driving this Honda Civic Type R. Now that it's all clean, let's talk about this. Let's talk about what the 7,500 miles has been like. First, I want to cover the exterior and any mods. So I have this overlay that I put, as I've covered in a different video. This got chipped very early on in the car's life, so I put a black overlay on it, and I think it's improved the overall appearance of the car, less chrome. I didn't do it on the wheels, but I did it on the front and back. One thing that everybody talks about, of course, is the front bumper. You need to get this car PPF because the paint is weak. I've got chips all over the place. I've touched them up a little bit here and there, but it's inevitable. So if you have the time, the patience, the money, do a PPF on the front. The intercooler, it's taking a lot of damage, lots of bugs. That's going to be expected because this large opening. That's fine. My plan is to replace this later when it gets damaged enough, and I want to do a thicker intercooler anyway for the track. But overall, I think the front could be a lot worse, given that I've taken this on track. Same with the intercooler, but it's inevitable. So just be aware of that. Okay, what else have I done? Let me pop the hood. Okay, so only thing I've done under the hood is racing brake fluid. So I did the Motul 660 for the track so my brakes don't boil, and I have a spoon filter for the intake. I have nothing else. Of course, the Tirreno wrist guard covering so I don't leak fluid everywhere, but that's it for the engine. Not much to see. It's held up, it's still clean. Moving on to the back, no curb rash on the wheels. The wheels have held up nicely. Back is clean. Spoiler is good. No scratches or anything, any premature wear there. The exhaust, I have a dual resonator delete, so it is a little bit more aggressive. Highly recommended. It's about 75 bucks a resonator. Some people start with the single, which is the small one up front. If you cut that, it's going to sound more like the Integra Type S minus the pops and bangs. But I do recommend at least doing it if you don't want to spend on an exhaust. I personally don't feel like I have to get an exhaust because I've done this. It's loud enough for me on track, and it kind of makes it sound more like an old school Honda when you do both of them. People will say the sounds are more harsh or there's a little bit more drone. Yes, but it's nothing like my Z06, and I actually appreciate the tone that it does have, so I don't regret it one bit. Highly recommended. Yeah, the rear is held up, black seats. Of course, I can't forget my son's shifter. That's a must if you have kids. When he rides with daddy, he wants to mimic and imitate my shifting. I did a video replacing this because the dealership scratched it when they replaced the seat rails, I think, or the back. They did that proactively before somebody bought the car, so I replaced this because I didn't like that scratch. It was bothering me. One important thing to note is the red carpet, okay? I know a lot of people replace this right away because they're worried about the red getting dirty. I personally didn't want to do that. I figured, let me enjoy the red because I like it, and then when it gets dirty, then I'll change it out. It's held up really, really well. Maybe camera doesn't do it justice. I have not shampooed these, but I vacuum them every week, and in person they hold up well. I did wipe a little bit of black off, and it came right off, and it maintained the carpet. So just note to anybody that wants to keep them, if you don't live in a climate where it snows or rains all the time, these hold up decently, and then you can clean them and continue to use them until they get completely worn out. Then you can change them. Seats have held up really well. They're not dirty. I have not necessarily cleaned them, but they've kept, and that was my big concern. Just like the carpet, the seats have done a decent job. Bolstering is still good. There's just a little bit of where you can see where I get in and out, but if I brush it, because of this faux sort of Alcantara material, it does kind of brush away. But overall, it is held up nicely. Let's go for a drive. I started it up already because it is a cold day out here. 28 degrees, not cold to some places in the country. You'll notice that I'm using a different style gauge than I normally do. This is the sport gauge. I normally prefer the Plus R gauge, but I wanted to do something different today. Okay, so 7,500 miles of ownership. Let's talk next about the maintenance. The maintenance for this car, technically I probably would have been due for one oil change by now, but I got that replaced earlier and I did a video on that. And then I did another oil change and I upgraded to 5W30 right before my track day in October. So we're in December, that's two months past then. And I always believe in changing your oil before you go on track. And then of course when you get off of track, I have another track day coming on January 17th, so I'm going to change the oil then too. But that's been it. The brake life, the brake pad life, even with that track day, my brakes are probably sitting at 40%, and that was with 2 hours. There was 4 sessions, 30 minutes each, so a good 2 hours of track duty on top of these 7,500 miles. And they hold up again about 40%. That day was wet, so I was a little bit, well, it was wet in some of the sessions, so I had to be less aggressive towards the end of the day, but they've held up. Tires, I can do another track day on these, the PS4S's. I'm going to rotate the fronts and put the backs on the front, and that should be good. But yeah, the tires have worn nicely. But other than that, there hasn't been any other real maintenance concerns. Reliability, I mean, it's of course been completely reliable. I have had no issues whatsoever. The car runs like a champ even after beating on it on the track, and without skipping a beat. It did not overheat on the track. Again, maybe that has to do with it being a little bit wet. Ambient temps were about 71 that day, but zero signs of overheating, both water temp and even oil. And this was at G2 Motorsports Park. So give you a heads up. I know a lot of people are worried about that. I think it depends on your region and a few other factors, but I have had zero issues in that way. Gas mileage, I'm probably averaging around 24.5 with the way I drive. So that's been good. It just has a small tank. There's a 12-gallon tank. I'm filling up at about 9 gallons. It cost me about 28 bucks here in Texas. So any other concerns that I've had since owning it, or maybe even issues, quote unquote, the thing is this car has rattles. Like I have a rattle in the door. It's fine. I knew that going in. I knew that the Type R was like that. I could have gotten Integra Type S, but I love the more hardcore nature of this car. I love the seats. I do love the hard suspension, though I did get unsettled on the track, so the ITS module does make sense. I was in Plus R mode, and the car came out from under me during the uphill grade at G2 Motorsports Park, so something to note, it is stiff even for a racetrack, but Texas tracks tend to be a little bit more bumpy, and I experienced that. Other than that, it's not that hard for daily driving. Right now I'm in sport mode, so it stiffens it one click before max, which is plus R, and I can drive around on a bumpy road like this just fine. I'm used to sports cars, so this does not bother me at all. But yeah, things to note, right? Basic things, it doesn't have a garage door opener. Yeah, no home link. You can get a home link mirror. It's like $300 if you want to do that. But it's been a joy. It's been a blast. It's still one of my favorite cars. When I was driving my C8 Z06 around breaking it in, I really missed this car. I missed the engagement, of course, the manual transmission. Even though I love the C8 Z06, the greatest car I've owned, I still had a craving to drive this car. And that's a testament to the build of this. I have owned many different cars, lots of the JDM icons, you name it, and even multiple Corvettes, Z06s, and I can't get over how phenomenal and how joyful it is to drive this car, especially being a four-door, but offering everything. It just does everything so well, and one of my favorite cars I've owned. A question I get constantly is it better than the S2000? The FL5 Type R, it's not better than the S2000, but it's equivalent to the S2000 in the way that it delivers the driving joy. Honda's good about that. The seat, the shifter, even though power is being driven to the front wheels, they've managed to do it in a way to where it's fun. And on track, I never really experienced the weakness of it being a front wheel drive until it was wet. But outside of that, the front diff is set up so well, and it digs in and it pulls you through each corner that it doesn't feel like a front wheel drive. And in fact, I even got sideways multiple times on track. The chassis was it was phenomenal. Hey, there's a Z. And I appreciated every single moment of it. I appreciated every single rev. I appreciated every single time I hit that red line. In every single corner that I took, I was smiling from ear to ear, and I just wanted more and more, and the car wanted to let me do it more and more. It is a real driving experience, one that you can't just replicate from any car on the market, and I can't underscore that enough. Those that don't understand what I'm talking about, that's okay, right? You have to experience driving one. Until you are speaking from a place of experience, you don't know how good this car is. Until you get the chance to drive one on track, you don't know. So I implore you, if you get the chance, drive one. I'm at 7,500 miles. The car has held up beautifully. For you that just appreciate horsepower, I have a Z06, like, I understand. But driving and pure driving joy is way beyond just power. It's about the balance of a car, and Honda has balanced this so well. And this is an underdog that can punch, and it can compete in stock form, mind you. I like underdog cars. The C8 Z06 is technically an underdog car because of what it competes against and what you pay for it. That's the same thing that the Civic Type R is. It's an underdog car that what you pay for it, mind you, if you get it under MSRP or at MSRP, there's nothing like it. It can compete, it's competitive, and it's reliable. And so it's that same formula, and it's a well-balanced car, it's a well-balanced chassis. Unless you only care about drifting, which I've said before, and I'll say again, there's more to the art of driving than drifting. This is a phenomenal car, and you shouldn't overlook it, and they're gonna be more and more rare. It soaks up every turn. I look forward to downshifting and accelerating into a turn. It feels like you're being vacuumed into the turn. This is a nice turn up here, but we got some traffic, so we got to be careful. But as you'll see, I'll downshift, even here, and just accelerate into it. You can't just get that anywhere, folks. There's a reason why many Porsche owners buy these Type Rs too, because they understand true driving feel. Of course, Porsche's being the pinnacle of driving. Honda obviously has a good formula here, and it shows. And need I remind you that Honda builds for Formula One. Not all manufacturers can say that. And Honda builds engines for Formula One. So Honda understands race dynamics more than most do. Race feel. That's going to be it for today. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for all your support. It's been fun. I always look forward to the opportunity to put out a new video and just drive and take you along. I hope this was informative for you, and if you're looking to buy a Type R, whether FK8 or FL5, and you have the means, I would definitely tell you to do it. God bless you and your families. I'm out.